Entity Essen.
Yo, average. Have you done the event?
Huh? What?
League 1.
No, not yet.
I don't know if it's worth it, but I mean, I guess those 60 primos, my guy.
It's been a while since we first set foot on Inazuma.
Okay, so there are a total of 2,368 words to learn in this game, and Korvax has 679 of them.
We made some progress on our journey.
I'm gonna be here for a while.
Where should we
Yeah, you
go
are.
today? Huh?
Bam. Thank you, ma'am. I'm doing the Kazuha story, by the way. Average.
What the heck was that for?
Nice.
And I'm just like, this is a great time for content.
Let's convince him to calm down a little.
By the way, I finally got my traditional level 90 average, and oh my gosh.
Huh?
Beautiful.
So you don't have a vision after all. Seems like I've mistaken you for someone else.
At the very least, you should make sure you've got the right person before you go attacking them. No, wait. Even when you've got the right person, you shouldn't go attacking them out of the blue. It's dangerous.
Shut up, Paimon.
Have you ever met someone by the name of Kaidehara Kazuha? He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he possesses an animo vision. That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting.
Bam, thank you, ma'am. I'm gonna have to toes.
What the heck is this guy's problem? Coming around here, waving that weird sword in our faces, and he didn't even apologize. Seems like a real nutcase. Well, one thing's for sure.
Well, play some Genshin.
Why are we telling him anything about Kazuha? Right? Paimon has a feeling, though, that even if this guy gets to challenge Kazuha to a duel, he won't be able to beat him. Anyway, just to be on the safe side, we should go fight Kazuha right away and tell him to watch his back. Oh? What kind of hunch? A special connection? You mean beyond already knowing each other? Yeah, maybe a little. But then again, most people look pretty much the same once they start fighting, so that doesn't really prove anything. Anyway, there's no time to lose. Let's go tell Kazuha so we won't get into any danger. Paimon heard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment. Let's look for him there.
Wow, that was difficult. That was a difficult fight, I'm not gonna lie. Man. Took me less than 20 seconds to beat him. That happens. Nice. Nice. Oh, wait. Onwards.
Hey! Hello?
I'm gonna be eating.
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after all. Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time, as soon as we entered the harbor, we ran into a huge crowd of Inazumans, all of them wanting to know about Kazuha. If it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too, but I don't see her getting this kind of attention. Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the captain, but she just laughs it off.
Oh, so you still don't know what he did?
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be? Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes sense. In that case, his newfound stardom is well deserved. He was called away earlier by some people from the Tenryou Commission. They said they had something important to discuss with him. I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been friendlier to him. Seems like they really respect the guy.
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unimaginable. Thank you! Guess we'll go pay a visit to the Tenryou Commission.
All right then. I'll just stay here and carry on trying to fend off the crowd.
Nice food. Food be good. Be really good. Ugh. Bunch of stuff. Why did I go that way? There's a bunch of go up this end of the city. I can never go up here. Whoa. Bum 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 ba-do-da-dum bum. Bum ba-dum bum. Nice.
Oh? It's you.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt decree. Since you're here, you're very welcome to... We invited Mr. Kaidehara here to extend a gesture of goodwill on behalf of the Shogunate. Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, I've been granted the chance to correct my clan's past mistakes, and for that, I'm deeply grateful. The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing, the tensions that have built up over the years. The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the honor of the Kaidehara name. Regarding the history of the Kaidehara Clan, I trust that you're already somewhat informed?
Yep.
In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the Shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the traditional blade forging arts of the Almighty Shogun. The Kaidehara Clan belonged to this class, but there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. Both the Kaidehara and Kamisato clans were held accountable for lax oversight and entered a period of great turmoil. We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui. Attributing all of the blame to the Kamisato and Kaidehara clans was neither proper nor just. Considering Mr. Kaidehara has once more made an outstanding contribution to Inazuma, the Almighty Shogun believes he should not only be rewarded for his achievements, but also receive recompense for the excessive punishment borne by his clan in the past. In the interest of preventing further harassment of the Bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not to publicly release the findings of our investigations into these matters. We trust you can understand why this was necessary.
This is a true honor.
Huh.
I am delighted to be in a position to receive the goodwill of the Almighty Shogun and the Shogunate at large. However, would I be correct to assume that this magnanimous gesture does not come without some strings attached?
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. We seek only to correct a past injustice. With the Kaidehara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the Kaideharas will be bladesmiths once more, and your wanderings will finally come to an end. You will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City with the Almighty Shogun's blessing and full support of the Shogunate.
I have grown accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel at home behind the tall walls of a stately abode. Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaidehara, and the art of blade making for which it stood. I do have a responsibility to restore their honor.
I sense some hesitation in your words. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating through the populace will disappear.
Malicious rumors? All we heard on the way here was so much much praise that we almost wondered whether there was another Kaidehara Kazuha in town.
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot accept the idea that Mr. Kaidehara really parried the Shogun's strike. Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a result, the falsehood that Kaidehara Kazuha was using a delusion began to spread.
What? But that doesn't make sense. Using a delusion turns you old and frail, and...
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements at once is a more inconceivable notion still.
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being the subject of public discussion, no matter whether it brings suspicion or stardom my way. But perhaps if the shogunate is willing to publicly support me, this situation will blow over more quickly.
This is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought. It stands to benefit all of us.
In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well then, what brings the two of you here?
Yikes! We nearly forgot about...
Why would such a dangerous individual be looking for me? No. This puzzles me as much as it does you. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. We undergo rigorous training to standardize every motion the blade is put through, so that each can be fairly assessed for quality. Over time, these techniques came to form something of a Kaidehara sword art, focused on blade testing, but with a full repertoire of combat forms. Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai in battle. So it's hard to imagine that the similarity you speak of was coincidence alone.
All the more reason to watch your back!
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive. Anyone he targets is at risk of serious
In that case, I will send some...
Thank you. I must say I am now very curious about this matter, and I will also need some time to consider your offer. I will first join the Traveler in investigating the one who attacked her.
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town. Let's see what
Want more food. More food is good. Food sounds good. Yes. 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 That one.
The only rule that holds true in this world is survival of the fittest. It's about time he realized that.
Nice. Nice.
Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities to choose from. Need me to come up with some for you?
What am I doing? Where is the marker? Oh, right there. Teleport. Teleport I shall. Gangster. I'm gonna put some food on.
Good roll. All right, maybe I'll take one more day off and knock out the rest of the work once I'm feeling up to it.
Wait for food to cook. Wait for
I'd
food
like
to
to ask
cook.
you a quick Do you know if anyone around here...
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaidehara.
You are too kind. We are currently investigating an assault and would appreciate any help you...
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Let me think. I can't seem to recall... Mr. Kaidehara is currently the talk of the town, so there are always a... To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people wishing to obtain Mr. Kaidehara's personal information. Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want. If these were more legitimate commissions, Sango would have snapped them up in an instant.
Millions? Of mora? Whoa!
Please, accept my thanks for looking out for my privacy.
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make our money by revealing details of other people's day-to-day life just for the sake of it. Sorry, I got a little off topic. What I'm really trying to say is, it doesn't surprise me that a complete stranger is looking for Mr. Kaidehara. But I wouldn't know where to begin if we want to connect this with an assault.
Then let's put that connection aside for now. Have there been any other attacks or similar incidents recently that stand out as particularly unusual?
Damn,
The Tenryou
Kazuha.
Commission had very few
Kazuha.
leads. I thought you might have some information from different sources.
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the streets. But typically, it's only the most trivial events that manage to escape their attention. If anyone had been out there attacking people, that would be assault, in which case the Tenryou Commission would...
Uh-oh. Looks like the
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't been causing any trouble elsewhere. Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, someone is certain to have been hurt by now. I am well aware of your talents. There is no need to be humble around me. In fact, I'm quite relieved that you were the one he targeted. It would cause me great grief to see someone become critically injured or lose their life because of me. For the poor victim, this would be a completely senseless crime.
Don't worry, we'll find...
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaidehara. Surely this same concern for your fellow man is what drove you to fearlessly raise your blade.
You flatter me. Truth be told, I don't know quite what came over me in that moment.
You are much too humble. Don't worry, I completely understand your concerns. I will try my best to gather whatever leads I can for you. Oh, actually, there was one strange incident over the last few days. It doesn't involve an attack, though. Let me tell you about it just in case.
Sure. During times like this, the more information...
All right, then. Recently, 2 people went missing from the city at around the same time. One of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other, Amenoma Yuya, is a samurai from the Amenoma clan.
Amenoma! Now they're...
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner of Amenoma Smithy. 2 grown men going missing at the same time. Their cases are likely connected, but I don't know much in the way of details. I recalled this because Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the blade. Perhaps he is the one you are looking for.
Understood, though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know this man, nor do I have any idea why he may wish to attack me.
Sure, can't hurt.
Thank you, Ryuji. We'll start by making some inquiries at the Amenoma Smithy.
Sounds good. All the best with your investigation.
How can I...
Riveting.
Ah, if it isn't Kaidehara Kazuha.
Huh? You
Yes, The Kaidehara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. Historically, there have always been deep links between the two clans. After I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr. Amenoma to pay my respects. Let me quickly explain. The Raiden Gokaden was the collective term for the 5 most acclaimed bladesmithing arts in Inazuma. The techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Gokaden by the almighty Shogun, and over time, further honed and enhanced by the most talented craftsmen. Unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmithing trade. Today, only the Amenoma clan has kept its art alive.
So sad.
It is a great pity indeed. In the old days, we each had our specialties, and just as iron sharpens iron, so too did we learn much from each other. As an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding patience and determination of water as it turns stone to sand. There is nothing mystical to our work.
Too many words.
There is only practice, day in and day out, until both body and mind have memorized the craft, turning each motion of every technique into an intrinsic part of the bladesmith's life. As for the art of the Kaidehara Clan, I believe it's called the Ishin art.
That's right. Ishin art strives for complete harmony between blade and mind from the moment that forging begins. For only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an extension of its wielder's will.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades, but an Ishin blade chooses its owner. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade. It gladdens my heart to see that although the Kaidehara clan has fallen on hard times, its ideals and virtues are alive and well.
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own personal sentiments, not by any noble aspirations on behalf of my clan. But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit today is to gather some information on your missing nephew. We hope to assist with the investigation. It may turn out that this case is connected to another we are pursuing.
Ah, yes. My nephew. I reported the case to the Tenryou Commission, but I haven't heard anything back so far. He didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike him. I'm still completely at a loss on what to make of it, but I've done what I can so far. Worrying is futile. All I can do now is wait for the news from the Tenryou Commission.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance too. Know anything about that?
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very cryptic look and said that he was going to give me a great gift. I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato after that. The next thing I heard was that a fire had broken out at the warehouse. And neither of them came. Yes. Strange, isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it. Unfortunately, there was very little evidence left behind, so nobody knows what really happened.
Do you have any thoughts on what Yuya may have wanted to give you?
If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. Otherwise, there would have been no reason for him to get my hopes up. He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fondness for blade testing, and can sense even the most minute differences in blade quality. He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts, particularly when it comes to the art of the sword.
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be objectionable. The person we are looking for, he attacked this friend of mine. Based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only Yuya seems to match the suspect's profile.
What? No. Absolutely impossible. Yuya is not that kind of person. He is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the goal of calming his mind. He has never gotten into a fight before.
Huh. Is that so?
Yes. If there's one thing I can say for certain, it's that Yuya would never draw his blade without a very good reason. But, with that said, it's equally out of character for him to just disappear, with neither farewell nor fair warning. I also cannot know what course of action he might be capable of if coerced, or otherwise compelled by circumstances unbeknownst to me. Anyway, should you find him, please let me know as soon as possible.
Don't worry. You have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think Yuya was the one who attacked us as well.
Yes. It sounds as if something happened when the two men met each other. Let's pay a visit to the Nagato household.
Like, okay. There's Nagato household up there. I'll just rob that. If I go get stuff, I think.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
Oh. This is a different quest.
All right, Nico, we're here. So what's your plan of action to deal with this rival book?
Why don't you take a guess? I'll give you a hint. It's to do with the Yai Publishing House.
Oh, Paimon knows! Combine the reputation of the Yai Publishing...
Oh, wow. Your first guess and you got... wrong.
Yeah! Wait! Seriously? That wasn't it?
A first-hand guide to summoning spirits is the hottest light novel right now. If we did as you suggested, we would effectively be advertising to everyone that the incantations are real. In bending over backwards trying to warn everyone about the dangers, all we would accomplish is to create more curious readers ready to try them out.
Okay, yeah, that would be pretty catastrophic. Oh, how...
Leaving aside the issue of the enormous manpower and resources such an operation would require, going to such lengths over a light novel would be extremely disruptive to the lives of Inazumans.
But that means there's nothing we can do.
Well, I've been thinking. I've read a first-hand guide to summoning spirits. It has many other good qualities besides the incantations alone. The book contains many ancient kaiden, or tales of the supernatural, and is written in a very engaging way. That is why the book has become so popular. I think we're going to have a difficult time trying to rein in its popularity while it's the only work in its league on the market. That's right. How do you get rid of the next big thing? You replace it with the next big thing. So what we're going to do is create Inazuma's newest hit novel. Smash our rivals' sales numbers and win our readers back. That is how Yae Miko wages war. Incidentally, this will also be the best way to combat the influence of a first-hand guide to summoning spirits.
Wait, Miko, so you want us to write a novel?
Well, becoming an accomplished novelist certainly isn't an overnight process. But let's not forget that I am the chief editor of the Yai Publishing House. I have my ways. I did say this is what we're going to do. I trust that the word teamwork is in your vocabulary. Anyway, there is a writer submission event going on at the moment. Start by talking to readers and finding out what they're into. When you have an idea of what the current... I'll be at Uyu Restaurant. Find me there when you're done. I will...
Okay, then I shall go back to Kazuha's story. Okay, I didn't mean to run to that.
Interesting.
No. Onwards. right there, okay. Oh. Fine if you're ready to do another quest.
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now. My husband has gone missing, and I'm still trying to find him.
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation. We'd like to ask you some questions about Mr. Nagato's disappearance, if we may.
Ah, I see. I thought the debt collectors had come to visit again. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information come out? Do you know where he's gone?
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. We're still trying to find out as much as we can to inform our search. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about your family's current situation?
For example, Paimon's struggling to understand why a collector would be strapped for Mora.
That's a long story. Ever since I've known him, he's been an avid collector of all sorts of things. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing how enthusiastic and excited they made him, I was happy to believe that they were just extremely important to him. Everything was fine when we first got married, but as time went by, things changed for the worse.
Uh-oh, what happened?
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrowing money just so he could pay for them. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse, admiring his weapons even as debt collectors were descending upon our house. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like he was in a trance. I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to come first. I've tried talking to him about it so many times, but he never listens. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said, if he refused to sell his collectibles and pay off his debts, I would divorce him and take the children with me.
Whoa!
Oh.
And that led to an argument.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes to go with the flow. On most things, he leaves the decision-making to me. You must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if the debts hadn't pushed our family to the brink. After I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, he awkwardly mumbled that he would pick out a few items to sell. His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family? Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found ourselves in such a predicament. And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses, or if he was simply angry with me. The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and the buyer had gone missing.
I see. I understand. Ame no Mayuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale, a fire broke out at the warehouse, and both men disappeared.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the price. But my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine him getting into a fierce argument.
Maybe he was feeling the pressure from the debts?
I don't know. He just disappeared after the warehouse burned down. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he's got no way to pay off our debts. Even though I'm still a little mad at him, we're a family, and I want us to face our family's crisis together. As long as he's willing to turn over a new leaf, I know we can work things out.
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this situation than meets the eye. If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life, it is quite unusual for this habit to change so drastically over a short period. But the information we gathered from the other side suggests Amenoma Yuya is also a mild-mannered man who would not be likely to start an argument. This situation is getting a little confusing.
A little confusing? More like completely mystifying.
Let's try a change of scenery and see if we can piece together what we've learned. Rest assured, we'll notify you if we find anything.
Thank you so much. I just want him to come home.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the two men was somehow the catalyst for their disappearance. The fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation unfolded, though its exact role is a mystery. Do you have any thoughts?
Well, Paimon was thinking that maybe someone accidentally knocked over an oil lamp and, nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
An interesting explanation. I was also considering this possibility. Amenoma Yuya is an expert on swords. He could have noticed some problematic details about Mr. Nagato's collectibles. Maybe he recognized a blade as a fake, or a well-known stolen item. Either way, after arguing about it, the two men agreed to hide the truth of this matter. They thought a fire would destroy everything. But then the Tenryou Commission began investigating and uncovered some incriminating details, so they fled to protect their secrets. But it's a far-fetched theory. I can't imagine how they would have been able to reach an agreement. One fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and well-mannered, while Mr. Nagato is introverted and passive. Neither seems like the type of person who is inclined towards initiating conflict. Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear after the fire. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Just what could have happened there? Right. Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no other details that we've learned seem to link the two events together. Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker, namely that he is principally a practitioner of the blade testing techniques of Amenoma art, not those of the combat-oriented Ishin art.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one stone here, but at this rate, it's starting to look like a wild goose chase.
Let's keep going. Since we've come this, if we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and Mrs. Nagato will be able to get some closure.
Okay, but where should we go now?
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse. There's still a chance we...
Heck. Evidence, my dude, evidence. Calm down, PlayStation. Hey, bam. Bam, bam.
Wait, I hear something up.
Oh! This must be another one of those sounds that only you can hear. As sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision thief at Beto's tournament, so...
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound. It's right around here somewhere.
Bum, bum, bum.
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still sense the direction it left in. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. The remnants of the Tatarigami. Indeed. But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy may prove to be of benefit to our we should remain vigilant and approach slowly.
No.
Huh. So it's an underground warehouse.
The force is definitely coming from down below. The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left this place. But the residue it left behind still hasn't dissipated completely. Judging from the concentration, I would have to conclude that the Tatarigami source resided here for a very long time.
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse by himself a lot.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy at that time. From what I've been told, Tatarigami does not turn all upon whom it preys into violent monsters, but most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Tatarigami's unfulfilled will.
Very interesting.
Their interests become fanatical obsessions. Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence of Tatarigami could explain why he became an obsessive hoarder, amassing more and more possessions, even as he put himself in grave debt.
So what should we do now?
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look at...
That's
If we don't
dangerous.
open this door,
Really?
we can move no closer to the truth. You needn't worry. Both of us have faced far greater dangers than this. Relatively speaking, the risk here is trivial.
Okay then.
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. I can't see anything. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
That was too scary! Paimon was so sure that the warehouse boogeyman was about to jump out at us!
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami energy... Two ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. Yes, let's go. If nothing else, quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you. Perhaps you, too, will perceive its ominous presence.
The elemental sight. I see.
Take it easy.
Nyum. Nyum.
From this point, the trail appears to split into two. The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance, but a small portion remained here, and
Whoa! Look at all those hilly trails! They're acting really strangely.
something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
That works.
Game's up. Gotcha.
Ugh! Look at this red stuff!
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn clothing. The ink is bone dry. It must have been written quite some time ago. Well, let's...
A lot of
According to this letter, a conflict arose because Amenoma Yuya wanted to seize a... Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chase as long as he could, eventually stopping here to write this letter when his strength gave out.
So...
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Add to that the fact that its aura seems to have attracted a horde of monsters, and I'm afraid he may no longer be with us. Whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point, they've since been disturbed by the hilly churls. There's nothing more for us to find here. Yes, Right now, we need to uncover some more important truths. If Ame no Mayuya is attacking other people indiscriminately, then the longer we take to find him, the more people risk meeting.
Right! So let's get moving!
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, fell prey to the influence. For a practitioner of the martial arts, the easiest desire to inflame would... All the clues that at first seemed disparate and disconnected. It seems that now we know the thread that runs between them. I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct, not only explains the series of events leading to the two men's disappearance, but also zeroes in on the attacker's identity.
Wait! You figured it out? So these two cases are connected after all?
I believe so. But it's something of an outlandish idea. I will only be able to confirm my suspicions once we've met him in person. On with the search. We must stay vigilant.
Take it easy.
He seems to have stayed here for a long time.
Why here? Is it...
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that the aura may have lingered here at several different points in time.
Show yourself!
Kaidehara Kazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! So what's your problem, huh?
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. If it is Ame no Mayuya that stands before us. But what if instead of facing Ame no Mayuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Now that you mention it, it is giving off a strange light. Whoa, whoa! Surely you don't mean... Are you serious?
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to subtly affect any living organisms in its vicinity. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind, and more recently using the sale as a means to affect, or rather as a means to occupy, Ame no Mayuya's body.
You're sharper than I thought. You've already deduced the truth of the matter. Many, many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. I was his pride and joy. In me, he placed all his hopes and dreams. As a descendant of the Kaidehara Clan, you should be able to guess our greatest regret.
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, all he could do was to flee the nation by sea on a ship bound for Snezhnaya. He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. All he needed was more time and a little faith. And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life's work, his wisdom, his skill, it culminated in his creation of me. He not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also endowed me with a consciousness of my own. In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world, but also an irreplaceable achievement in the art of blade forging.
So... swords can become conscious?
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade, a sharp and well-crafted one, but in all other respects an ordinary weapon. But that gave me the opportunity to take action. After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazuma. Moving from one person to the next, I controlled the minds of countless hosts along the way, each bringing me one step closer to my ancestral home. I seek but one thing: to face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power, the might of Ishin art.
Ah, so Amenoma Yuya was not your first victim. Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed when you've finished using them?
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? They are but tools that serve my mission. When they got tired, or injured, or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to take me back to Inazuma.
You're...
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse until Amenoma Yuya handed himself over to me on a silver platter. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Amenoma Yuya's body, I have found you. And by your hand, I shall defeat the Raiden Shogun. Kaidehara Kazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be no other to serve as my host for what is to come. Now, give your body over to me!
Teamwork is dreamwork! Let's look.
We shall rewrite history!
This is order.
Time to go.
Join me and sever the divine light! Rewrite history!
Time to go!
We shall rewrite history! Do not stand in my way.
Your bluff's fooling no one. You've lost.
Lost? I can never lose. It is this body that has reached its limit now. Even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will not be me, but this man. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. The end result is the same! I will end this wretch's life before you can lift up. And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is but a small setback. By any means necessary, and any medium available, I shall return and fulfill my destiny!
Your fighting style. It is indeed the forms of Ishin art. But from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance, as well as a thinly veiled mania and despair.
Really? You can tell all that just from his moves?
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user's thoughts and feelings. Since the blade is currently possessing Amenoma Yuya's body, its movements express the innermost thoughts of the blade. If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition. You believe I am your only hope.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin art's secrets. The little that you know barely scratches the surface. In that regard, why would I ever need your help?
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a cursed blade that can possess its owner, now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. You weren't biding your time. You were trapped. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now unable to acquire a new host without making physical contact.
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato had a habit of never touching his collectibles.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have an opportunity to reach out to Amenoma Yuya and make your escape. Well, that brings me to my second point. There's a despair in you that is so strong it threatens to overwhelm you. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition is too grand and too heavy for you to bear. Each step you have taken has come at a great cost. I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater your fear of losing everything you had achieved grew, and the more you wished to run from the truth. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition has long since become a delusional fantasy.
What would you know about any of this? I'm just one...
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. But to make this arduous journey, you committed countless atrocities and showed a blatant disregard for human life, even if you were to sever that divine light. Is this truly the outcome that your maker would have desired?
You...
Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even as you made your journey to honor this legacy, you treated the ones who wielded you as mere tools to do your bidding. How could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle of harmony between a blade and its bearer?
Silence! I must achieve my goal. This, I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my predicament clearly. But you also underestimate my...
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing reality offers me nothing. I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not hesitation, not self-reflection, and certainly not your so-called reality. It is pointless to argue further, descendant of the Kaidehara Clan.
How stubbornly you stick to your wayward... I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state. So let us make a bet, and I will put your strength to the test.
What? Surely you're not...
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies with whom you wish to cross blades. A taste of my power will more than convince you. Once we have dealt with them, we shall proceed to Tenshuka.
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose, you must release Ameno.
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Amenoma Yuya. The cursed blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr. Nagato and Amenoma Yuya fell prey to it. Since I don't have any similar kinds of obsessions, I should be able to put up some resistance for a while.
But...
Even if things take a turn for the worse, I still have you both here with me. We have a chance here to save an innocent victim.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wish to learn too. Now...
Kazuha?
I felt a little dizzy at first, but it's all right. So far, this was as I expected. I will. Thank you.
What should we do next? Have you...
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced many real fights. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, it cannot unleash its true power. If he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it. He shouldn't last long in an intense combat situation.
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about something from the adventure. Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been held by Ronin ever since.
All right.
What about Amenoma Yuya? What?
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained his own consciousness yet, he is...
Are we sure this is a good idea? Okay, fuck.
I don't even know what I just witnessed. I really don't. That's funny. So much dialogue. Freaking hell. This domain will be easy. No color. Oh, just custom.
Leave everything on this journey to me. Wind Strider.
Nice.
There's more!
Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
Nice. Legs.
How are you feeling?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, it's become very difficult to use. Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much.
Something else on your...
How strange. Rather than trying to control me, he is instead trying to match my fighting rhythm. Let's keep going.
Interesting.
Time to go.
Just. Give me that 3 moves.
It's my lucky day.
There we go.
Wind Strider!
That works. Oh man, this is man.
Let's get down to business.
The wind knows me. Clouds high.
Let's go!
Difficult again. Very difficult.
Whoa! Something's up with the blade!
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will likely break apart at...
But what would that do to Amano?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any... He's still trying...
Kazuha. Man, the resurrection so difficult. Nice.
Into the wind.
Ow. Over here. Over here you come.
The wind knows me.
As one with wind and cloud.
One with nature.
Man. Well, it's broken. Difficult. That was difficult.
Okay? It looked like you were ripped.
Yes. And it looks like he's reached his limit.
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look anywhere near as impressive.
Perhaps this time, we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
True form? What are you talking? Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk!
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the almighty Shogun. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma has left you battered and broken. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I've finally figured out why it was that you agreed to my bet. You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then you would still be able to wield commendable power. But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy and cruelty, nor can I empathize with the one who made you. The only one who truly understood you had already passed away by the time you were born.
Huh? What's that supposed to...
There they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming from? Yup. We can help this time!
Don't worry. It's just more of the same.
It's my lucky day!
Into the wind!
My place! To the fear!
This will do!
Wind strider! Fallen leaves!
Adorn my night!
Yes.
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaidehara in flesh and in spirit. Though we fought briefly together, you have seen me for who I really am. No one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. You are the first person to know the truth. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there would still be a...
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect harmony that your personal blade does with you. Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor, and without proper maintenance, I can only disguise my true appearance behind an outer sheen. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent blade it is. Perhaps I shall never reach that level of glory.
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in Liyue. Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not everything. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus, in the moment that I most needed it, I received aid from another power: skill, blade, determination, and desire. All these must be aligned in the practice of Ishin art. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess your own consciousness derived from the power of the Tatarigami. Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. It is the source of your mania and savagery. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by Tatarigami was constantly trying to seize control of my body.
I sensed it, but I couldn't change it. It is an integral part of...
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. But I do not know whether you yourself have any intention of trying to fight it. I feel a great sense of regret for you. Since you embarked on a journey bound for a destination, you were destined never to... The moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever unleashed your true potential. And yet there was no way for you to turn your back on his ambition. You have known this for a long time. It is the true source of your despair.
He gave me everything. My life, my form, my... How could I possibly... I said to him, "Do not worry. From here on, I shall..."
I believe our bet is now settled.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. Let's give him some time to reflect.
That's one way to do it.
When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. His breaths were weak, and his life near it. A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively to his final word.
Wow.
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually learned the truth behind everything that had happened. The Ishin art had been dealt a devastating blow by the desertion of its best smiths. He spent the rest of his life in the forge, not to vent his frustration and hatred, but to atone for his actions. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to one day return his single, proudest creation, back to the land of his birth. So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard the journey. But he never wished to rival the gods. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade and smith. That they were still worthy.
So but after that, the blacksmith's intentions were worked by the Tatarigami, slowly turning his proud...
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with was that of the Tatarigami. The hatred within that power is what sent the blade down its ill-fated path. This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost its original master. No one was there to correct its error. Yes, time would not wait or stop because of his determination. While the world moved on, his ambition remained stubbornly stuck at that fleeting moment at the dawn of his journey. He seems to have calmed down, though.
When I look back at the past, I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes. Such was the debt I owed to him for giving. But darkness and slaughter numb the mind. Oh, not only did I fail to fulfill...
You are finally seeing...
Since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will honor... But I still cannot bring myself to forsake his ambition. It is the entire purpose for my... So, may I ask...
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix, too?
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, I will still release Ame no Mayuya as my physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess, should still be of some value to you.
His attitude has... What do you think, Kazuha?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. He told me that he had wanted me to have the grandest opening battle. Alas, after that, he never rose from his sickbed again. Nor have I ever had the chance to prove myself in battle. My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my never-ending journey. The next in a long line of transgressions. You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand in battle and experience a true duel.
Oh? And who would be the opponent?
I will release Ame no Mayuya and restore his consciousness. Perhaps after that, you can convince him to commit to a fight with you. He must have plenty of reasons to both hate me and desire a good fight.
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up and seeing if he has the stamina and will to fight.
I see. He used my body. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, he must still have some remaining semblance of honor. If a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I am willing. I do not wish to be a mere victim.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the Tenryu Commission.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without your intervention.
All right, then let's move on. More Ronin could appear at any moment. In any case, for a final duel, I think we should aim for a greater sense of
What does Kazuha have in mind? What does he have in mind? Lovely. Why on the beach of all things, bro? Man, this is such a great story. I don't know. It's alright. What am I gonna say?
This reminds Paimon a bit of the crook. Yep, we still can't let our guard down. Even now. Paimon, still. Even if he's way past the point of... Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. Successor of Ishin art. Kaidehara Kazuha.
Successor of Amenoma art. Amenome Yuya.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor also.
One with nature. Wind Strider. As one with wind and cloud. The wind knows me. Wind Strike. That hurt. Fallen leaves adorn my night.
Difficult.
Thank you for the experience. Although he appears battered and broken, in your hands it seems his sense of savage cruelty has completely faded away. But that same sense of
You also fought well. I'm sure he relished the experience. There are a few things that I shall leave him to tell you himself.
I must apologize to you for all that has transpired.
You need not seek my forgiveness. Nor do I have the right to forgive you on your victim's behalf. It is too late for...
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as mine alone, and not let them stain the... I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Ishin art still has a worthy successor in Kaidehara Kazuha. I beseech you, please understand.
Yes. I too trust Mr. Kaidehara to do the right thing.
Thank you.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. He would like to visit the Amenoma. Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want to...
I'm not sure, but I think that all this is...
Like, the actual... I don't know how I feel about this. Just talking sword, bro. Talking sword. And again, but I made it. So, oh my god. Right here. Oh, dialogue. Yay.
Oh, it's Yuya!
I am sorry to have troubled you. It's all thanks to them that I was able to
A prized Ishin blade, turned weapon that controls the human mind. Considering their forging philosophy, this was indeed within the realm of possibility. This is a great pity. But I have some good news as well. Ryuji, from the Bonton Sango Detective Agency, tells me that they've found the missing Mr. Nagato.
Really?
Yes. Badly wounded, but he will live. And now that Yuya is back, it seems like the final ending to this story is a happy one after all.
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha?
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me for a brief moment.
What? No way! How's it...
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. And he assures me that he won't use my body for anything nefarious. I have decided...
You... But... He...
Thank you. Okay. I am ready. Let us...
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaidehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaidehara Clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Sword actually looks kind of goated, not gonna lie.
Rest in peace.
Kind of looks cool. I like the red and black.
So, that's why he said it had to be done in that order. His consciousness will disappear forever after
Kagotsurube Ishin.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first time I ever heard his name. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions, and thus chose to bury this name deep within his heart. Only in the final moments, before his consciousness faded, was he willing to entrust it to another.
Seems like he really, really wanted to fulfill his maker's wish.
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going forward also fueled the stubborn determination that blinded him to the path ahead. Speaking for myself, I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his mistakes than see him punished for them. I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my personality. I've always been captivated by grand aspiration. Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me, just as the sight of those who fought to repeal the Vision Hunt decree did. Your quest to face the gods and trace your sibling inspires me in the same way. After everything I've seen, perhaps these pursuits fascinate me a little more than they should.
Oh,
I will continue to support you from this point on. Know that you will have my assistance whenever you need it.
Wait! Shouldn't we also go update...
Oh, you're right. And it's also time to give him...
Wonderful. Ugh. Very wonderful. Nice.
You've returned. I hear that the issue has been resolved. Though this was a treacherous investigation indeed, we're most fortunate that no lives were lost. The Tenryou Commission has already attended to the danger at the warehouse. The investigation into Amanome Yuya should conclude soon. I do not believe he will be charged with any crime.
Wow, you sure kept your ear to the ground.
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer. Please, take a look at this blade.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin, a weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forging art of the Kaidehara Clan. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. I also promised him that I will continue to study and pass on the secrets of Ishin art. And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nations, learning more about this blade as I go.
I see. I understand.
The Kaidehara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths, so it is only proper for me to continue on this path. Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and Sangonomiya. That would not suit me.
You misunderstand. That was most certainly not our intent.
I am aware, but I still desire to continue walking my own path.
Very well. I can understand. Then let's pretend this offer was never raised. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the shogunate's assistance, please do not hesitate to inform me.
Great. Thank you for your generosity.
Where will you travel to next, Kazuha?
I'll probably take to the seas with Captain Beto again for now. As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
In other words, he doesn't know. Yeah, it was the right story. We didn't get the sword, did we? Now we got the sword, okay. Yeah, gambling. I can't DM, can I? No, that's it. Bug champ, not gonna lie. It was pretty decent, I would say. I would definitely say that. The question is, what else am I gonna do now? I don't want that. I want that. Thank you. Claim. I need. I'll claim Yamiko, I guess. Bam. Bam.
The key to when to use it, good illustrations can make... There's a saying that lighten up the illustrations in a... I've been reading... These days, though, everyone's... The only... Not only is it a...
The Yai Publishing... The winner gets a huge...
I'll be honest. In most traditional... By contrast, the protagonist...
There's much more to light novels than Paimon realized. Let's go tell our findings to Yai
Such a
Miko.
riveting story. Such a very riveting story, boss. Bam, 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 Nice.
You've already met Junkichi and Shigeru. Shigeru isn't... Satomi is yet... They will be teaming...
Okay.
Now then.
I want primos. Give me primos.
More importantly...
Paimon follow... For example...
Take a... As a traveler.
Oh, right!
Not at all. As long as the...
I don't think I'm into the story,
Let's
so...
start with chapter 1, then. What are you thinking? No!
Out of a maximum of 10 points, I'd give that a 9.
Okay.
Is there really flying emergency food in other worlds? How does it taste? And how do you cook it? It's a strong opening. An easy way to grab the reader's attention. Never underestimate the appeal of culinary-oriented subject matter. Food, after all, is a topic that everyone... Hey! Good job, little one. You're not only drawing on your own experiences, but it seems you're filtering them through the lens of the kinds of light novels you've read in the past. I think you really understand what we're trying to do here. No. Thoughts from the experts? Are we able to work?
Yeah, we think it works.
I think no matter what
That's good.
The same.
Okay, we're done with Chapter 1. Let's move on to Chapter 2.
Huh? What?
Readers will devour your content a lot more quickly than you'd think. If we don't keep delivering the goods now we've caught their attention. Hurry, Chapter 2.
What's wrong with you? You don't look so good.
What a pity. I thought your beginner's luck would carry you a little further.
Before I came to what?
The bane of our existence. When this happens, the best thing you can do is have a bite to eat and take a
Nice. Nice.
Don't worry.
Your treat? Oh, wait a minute. Miko, we'll be getting paid for all the...
Of course. Everyone that takes part in the creative process will be paid.
All right, cool. Now let's press on, shall we? Oh, does this mean your inspirations come back?
Hilarious.
Let's see now. With the help of the Qixing and the protection of the Adepti, I am free to roam this vast realm. Is this the kind of cheap thrill that guy was talking about?
Yeah.
I give it a 9. The story is fun and action-packed with no dark undertones. Also, there are a great many legends about Rex Lapis. I'm sure it will spark the people's curiosity. I, for one, think there's a sizable market for this. Approved.
All right, well, let's just hope Zhongli doesn't mind.
Great. Well, now Satomi can get started on that.
Leave it to me, Lady Yae.
That's funny. That is funny.
Let's write about Inazuma in the 3rd chapter, shall we? I can help with this one. We can use the Vision Hunt Decree or your experience in the Resistance. Any ideas?
Wow.
The strict Principal Raiden of the Inazuma Academy decided to confiscate all life. With the help of Lady Kitsune, the protagonist defeats Principal Raiden in an... Are we absolutely sure?
We can and we will. One thing, though. We'll need to rewrite the part about me giving you the Omamori. Let's change it to... The mysterious Lady Kitsune teaches the protagonist a spell that can make their wishes come true. The protagonist uses this spell to defeat the...
Whoa, so we're really good.
I suppose...
Are we done then?
The content is fine. Now we just need... I will contact an artist to make some illustration. She runs a regular Q&A column in... You're free to take a break.
No, sir. Are we almost done? Except I've done a bit of it before.
Always refining her craft.
And let it end, let it end. Let it end. Let it end. You're looking at her, it's like... I want food. You're average, you're still there, nah. I'm guessing you just left your computer on. It's kind of funny. Wow. How's this Batman?
Take it easy.
Gnarly. Gnarly.
Miss Hina doesn't usually do endorsements, but since it's Lady Guji that's asking, with Miss Hina getting so popular lately, well, but Miss Hina's not interested in any of it. She still prefers to focus all her efforts on replying to readers' letters, and turns down every promotional opportunity she can. Maybe that's why her fans like her so much. I'm getting off topic here. Anyway, if we can get that endorsement from Miss Hina, you'll definitely get an May your light novel sell well and set a new
We'll do our best.
Are you sure you'd like to submit this entry? Let me see. The Miraculous Adventures of the Traveler by Thousand Hands.
What a strange pen name. Definitely your doing. Having been around you so much recently, Paimon slowly
What do you mean, strange? It took a lot of work by a lot of different people to get this thing finished. Don't you think it's a very descriptive pen name?
We'll get this printed as a matter of priority and conduct trial sales in pilot locations throughout Inazuma. I'll announce the sales numbers in 3 days.
Uh-oh. Paimon's getting a little nervous now.
That's right. Be confident in your work. That's exactly how
Okay, then I'll sign you up. Please come back in 3 days for the result. Thank you all for your submission.
I can go back in 3 days. And we just done. 2 days. 3 days, technically. Yeah, it is day after tomorrow, right? We'll find out in a second. Man, I hate these time-related things. It's just like, yep, just gotta wait. That's all you gotta do. It's kinda frustrating. Nice.
You've all found good news, everyone. I just received word that your light novel is flying off the shelves. Multiple sales locations are asking when we'll be printing more copies.
Woohoo! That's great!
This level of success is an amazing accomplishment for a new work. Most new books don't sell 30% of what you've sold. I have free copies for each of you here. Please take them.
Oh yeah! The whole reason why we sold a lot of copies. But it doesn't feel like we had...
Shh. Listen to what the people around us...
Hey guys, have you heard about this latest Kaidan thing doing the rounds? You just need to recite the incantation from A First-Hand Guide to Summoning Spirits at Midnight, and your wish will come true!
Oh, that? That's a throwback. That's old news, man. No one's talking about that anymore. The Secret Spells of Lady Kitsune is the new hit thing. I've already memorized all the incantations.
The Secret Spells of Lady Kitsune?
What? You haven't read it yet? Okay, so supposedly, if you recite the spell in there on a moonless night, you'll receive protection of the Kitsune and all the other powerful yokai. They can make any of your... I heard that the incantations in A First-Hand Guide to Summoning Spirits have weird side effects. This one guy wished for a load of mora and got it, but then one night it all turned to leaves and he developed a high fever. They actually had to use one of the secret spells of Lady Kitsune to get rid of the discomfort. That proves that the incantations in this book are more potent than the ones everyone was trying before. Pretty much everyone I know is desperate to try it out.
Really? Well, I better go and prepare too.
Well?
Wow, you're right! Everyone's shifted, but what's this moonless night that they're talking about? Paimon doesn't remember that detail from the brainstorm.
This is something that will become very important to us further down the line. All right, it's... Of course. Behind every book that hits the market lies an author, right?
Oh yeah, if we leave him to his own devices, he might just write another guide to summon... Also, we still need to figure out what is
Exactly. That's what we need to take care of. But when we went to ask him about it, he had no recollection whatsoever of having written the book. Yes, this is another case of possession. Only this time, whoever possessed him actively sought him out. After his novel submission failed, he was walking aimlessly in Araumi. In frustration, he shouted out, "Please, someone, anyone, help me write a truly amazing novel."
But the spirit that wrote the book has already left him now, right?
Simple. It wrote a summoning incantation in the book, didn't it? So we can just use its own method to make it manifest. And you, my little friend, are the perfect candidate for this role. Oh, what are you
Confirms that she is sadistic. Bam. 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 Nice.
Miko.
The ideal spot for a
Really?
What are you so afraid of?
Paimon's heart is...
Okay.
Hey!
Domain again, let's go. Go. I don't need Electro. I don't need Electro. She'll do that. Okay. Yeah, Miko.
What a weird painting. Miko, do you know what it's supposed to...
Probably a scene from ancient Inazuma.
It's a good piece of artwork and all, but it's also... Looks like the artist signed their name.
Let's go inside and take a look.
Gnarly, my guy.
Let's get down to business.
Right here.
Stabilize.
I'm going in! Let's light it up!
Quietly now. Here comes the catch.
Fall before me.
Right now. Right here. Right now.
To the very good though.
Wow, this place is huge. Hey, is that a mirror? There's a really weird-looking stool as well. Wonder what it's for.
Ah, I see. Huh. This setup is quite handy. Saves me a lot of work. All right, go and take a look around. There should be a mechanism somewhere that makes the whole room move.
Gotcha.
Order guide you.
Everybody stand back! Ha!
Busted.
Ha!
This is order.
Go! Cross over! Huh? Phew!
Fall before me.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
You win.
Gotcha.
Good now.
My lucky day.
Order guide you. Solidify.
Right here. Right now. Right here. Nothing lasts forever.
To the very.
Take it easy.
guys!
Game's up. Time's over. Quietly now.
I will have order.
Okay, next I will show you a secret Kitsune spell. This painting is a swift summoning medium, which means I'll be able to skip many of the more tedious steps. The murky mirror reflects the view of Inazuma in a bygone age. Spirits stirred by the sight of the past will be easily drawn to it. You're up next, little one. Come on, sit yourself down here. Yes. The whole point of a summoning ritual is for a dead person's spirit to possess a living person. You saw what happened to that Oni samurai.
Are we positive that summoning...
Oh, you really care about the little one quite a lot, don't you? I'm a little jealous. I wish my friends were caring like that. Anyway, are you... Sit on the chair, stare at the painting, and relax your body and mind. Try and be natural. There's really no need to be nervous.
It's like she's sitting inside the painting. Huh? Is Paimon seeing things?
Recite the incantation in your... Now, what kind of wish do we think it would take to summon... Very good. The wish needs to be heartfelt, though, so let me help. The book is selling exceptionally well, Traveler.
The painting is moving again!
I never thought the day would come when I'd be summoned using my own... What have we here? Another budding writer? What's come over you all? Why is everyone wishing for help with their writing? Are novels so popular in this day and age?
We got you! So you are the one... What are you trying to do, Why'd you put that summoning in...
Huh? Oh, I see. No wonder this felt so familiar. I've walked right... You ask me what my game is here? Well, of course. It was to use this incantation as a means for all the souls of the departed yokai to make their glorious return to the world and plunge all of Inazuma into a brutal, bloody war.
What?
Oh, did you now? Then how naive of you to let me possess this body so... I sense... Yeah, good. Good! With this power, no one...
Wake up! Quick, wake up!
It is futile. You shall never wake her again. This body...
Hey! Come on, wake Miko! You're laughing?
Oh, Rakusai, you haven't changed a bit. You caught on so quickly. Too perfect.
Well, you made the face enough times that I couldn't exactly miss the hint. This is what you were going for, yes? Never one to stand on the sidelines of a good spectacle, are you? Always got to dive in and fan the flames, huh? You mischievous little Kitsune. You. Look what you've done to this little flying one here. Oh, poor thing scared witless.
You were having plenty of fun playing the bad guy a moment ago. Now you're trying to blame it all.
Urakusai?
Yes, sweet.
Allow me to formally introduce the author of A First-Hand Guide to Summoning Spirits, Urakusai. No, wait. To be more accurate, it's Urakusai's memory.
Memory? But...
Ah, spirits, memories. They're just different words to describe the same thing. Something that comes from the ley lines.
Do you remember that recent incident when the Rift Hounds were gnawing at the sacred Sakura's roots? You witnessed human memories leaking from the ley lines, didn't you? Well, since there are human memories, of course there are going to be yokai memories too. In life, yokai possess supernatural powers, and even when they are a shadow of their former selves from a bygone era, they still have the ability to control whether they are visible or not. Typically, yokai memories survive longer in the world than those of humans.
Indeed, indeed. I was wandering around the sacred Sakura's roots when I suddenly heard someone yelling, "Please." It piqued my curiosity, so I popped inside his body and wrote a novel for it.
So that's how it happened. But why did you
Oh, little one. Not to toot my own horn here, but when I was alive, I wasn't just another Kitsune, no. I was a mighty and powerful Daiyoko. The memories of other yokai can't possess human bodies at will like I can. But with this incantation, they can go one last little joyride in the world for a couple of days. Anything they're still itching to do, they can go and get it done.
But she's trying to say that all the commotion this causes is likely to be a great disturbance to the humans.
Disturbance? I guess you mean that we might leave them with some broken dreams after we leave, hmm? Oh, yes. And they might have a fever or whatever. But you know, I actually think that the most admirable thing about human beings is the way that they go out and shape their fate with their own two hands, given that they're not born blessed with the same powers that we enjoy. As for those who would rather draw on external power than seek to improve themselves, it's quite right that they learn their lesson eventually. So when you think about it, we're actually doing the humans a big favor.
Yes.
All right, then. You finally convinced...
What are you scared of, little one? Don't be deceived by her day-to-day antics. Miko is actually one of the most powerful yokai out there.
Not only that, Urakusai, but my latest work has beaten that book you wrote, A First-Hand Guide to Summoning Spirits, to become the most popular in Inazuma.
Of course. You were never one to make extra work for yourself where you can help it. And yet you went to all these lengths to find my painting room, and even took the trouble to summon me. I knew you must have some ulterior motive. You were always the one to pick a quarrel with me when we all used to gather around and share stories. All right, you win.
Ha! I finally get to hear you say it centuries later. Ooh, I must say it feels good.
I remember when you were just a little girl, always hanging off my shoulders. A few 100 years later, and you're all grown up.
Oh, Urakusai, how much time do you have left?
Not much. That goes for all of us, actually. We've all got to go back where we came from in the end. Everyone's quite content in many ways, but they still can't help but ask, are we ever going to have another Hyakyako?
Don't you worry about that, Urakusai. Arrangements are being made. When my bell rings, it means the moonless night is upon us.
Great. Wonderful. Miko, it's been nice catching up, but I'd better conserve my energy if I want to stick it out until then. So, I'll be on my way now.
All right. Goodbye.
One last thing, Miko. I just want to know, have you been well all these years?
I've been great, of course. Every day is a happy one, especially these days. Not only do I have my light novels, but I've also met these two delightfully nosy outlanders. And even A is finally starting to come to her senses. Quite a miracle, given how pig-headed she can be.
Oh, well, great. That's fantastic.
Urakusai, you'd be right at home in this era. A great storyteller and artist like yourself would be the Yae Publishing House's ace in the hole. And I would personally be hounding you over your next installment.
weird. Are you awake? How are you feeling?
Are you all there? Here, like last time, repeat after me. Oh, you beat me to it. So, your first possession, What was it like? Hearing Rakusai admit defeat has put me in the most wonderful mood. Yes, though they only represent a tiny proportion of the memories in the ley lines, it will still be quite a sight to behold when the time comes. Since you've come this far, why don't you do one last thing for me,
You cannot be serious, me. You guys teamed up to scare Paimon just now.
Aw, come on. I'm really only asking you to finish what you started. Besides...
Paimon's paycheck? Well, there's no...
Yeah, she's sadistic. Not gonna lie. She really is, like, honestly. Gotta do be like that. Oh. Loading screen somehow, so tedious. There we go. Expecting it'll be about this conversation.
Well, hello there, my little helpers. So nice of you to join me.
As if we had a... So, Nico, what exactly do we have to do to make this Hyakyako happen? Also, to be clear, we actually have...
It might sound ominous, but to put it simply, the Hyakyako is just a gathering of the yokai. Back in the day at yokai gatherings, once everyone had had plenty to drink, one by one they'd start soaring into the sky with their yokai powers. There were so many of them that their silhouettes would block out the moon. But now, the yokai memories that leak from the ley lines are weak. They are no longer able to fly. So I will be performing a convocation ritual for them, gathering all the wandering memories together in one place. When the time comes, they will gather in the sky above the Grand Narukami Shrine. Once their energy is spent, they will be satisfied and return to where they belong. All the preparations for the ritual have actually been made well in advance. Remember the incantation and the mention of moonless night that I added to our novel?
Oh, yeah! Something about reciting the secret spells of...
That's the one. Actually, it's not a wish-granting incantation at all. It's a spell to help calm the ley line memories. When that time comes, let's all pitch in and help send them on their... I will start the ritual preparations shortly, and at that time, I need you to do two things. First, tell the shrine maidens to leave the mountain. During the Hyakyako, a whole swarm of yokai memories will be hanging around in the air above the Grand Narukami Shrine. Having the shrine maidens leave avoids the bothersome issue of someone potentially getting possessed. After that, I will commence the ritual, and the memories will begin to congregate. This will take some time. I need you at the foot of Mount Yogo during this part to keep an eye on nearby monster activity. The memories are normally dispersed and don't pose a threat. But when their energy is concentrated, it is likely to disturb the monsters. They may see this as an opportunity to try and make it up the mountain. I need you to fend them off so that that doesn't happen.
All right, got it.
Well, if at that point you felt like coming to the shrine and getting a close-up view of the yokai, I wouldn't say no.
Okay, let's get...
Time to kill things is what I hear.
Descend the mountain?
Yep, Miku's...
I see.
We'll be taking care of a couple other things for her.
It seems like Lady Kuji's never allowed anyone else to be in her presence when she's conducted rituals like this in the past. Thank you for helping with—
Don't worry, we're...
Nice.
Nico's about to start the ritual. Come on, let's go deal with the monsters down the mountain.
No, I don't think I will climb on.
Take it easy.
Ah. Got it. I may have just killed you on.
Gather! This is order.
Everybody stand back!
Busted.
Fool! Time to go!
This
body belongs to ice and snow.
I see. This way. What are we looking for? What are we looking for? What are we looking for here?
Take it easy.
I don't know, I'll find it. Oh, it's right there, I'm an idiot. Very nice, very nice, very nice.
These monsters look really riled up. Yep,
Here they goes.
let's get... All right, here they come.
Here they draws, but they're not in it.
Quietly now.
Solidify!
Questioning about the results.
Let's light it up! Go in!
Order guide you.
Gotcha.
Cross over!
And bam. Look at that, nothing impressive.
I will have order.
Bam.
Everybody stand back!
Quietly now.
Let's get down to business.
Here comes the catch.
Let's light it up!
There's more!
Go!
Oh, wow, this is actually a good combo. I know it
Many
was.
of them. Come on, you can do it.
Bam. Bam, bam, bam,
Busted.
bam.
Higher, higher, pants on fire!
This is order. Gather.
Quietly now.
Alright, that's the last of the monsters.
Let's head up to the mountain. No, I don't want to. That's so challenging. So challenging. Very challenging. Damn, Bennett made it so easy. Not gonna lie. Good. Nice.
Wow, so many. They're everywhere. Huh?
Yes, the memories of the yokai. They haven't been able to relax and soar through the air like this for a long time. Come with me. You all right, little one? You look a little nervous.
It's just, Hyman's never seen
Gonna
anything like
break
this
out in summer
before.
dance, 100%.
Whoa, they've really blocked out the moon.
It does look a little intimidating, doesn't it? But I know them. They may be loud and brash at times, but they are good and brave souls. Even after losing their lives in a brutal war, they have never given in to grief or despair. Alas, their time is short. It's a feast, and all feasts come to an end. Since you're sorry to see them leave, why don't you do the recital along with me? O Hakushin, cause of this enchantment, in reverence I perform this rite.
In reverence I perform this rite.
To be a guiding light.
The book says, recite the secret spells of Lady Kitsune tonight, and our wishes will come true.
O Hakushin, cause of this enchantment.
I perform this rite to be a guiding light. Your unrivaled power will be honored eternally.
Murakusai, you asked if I was doing well. Really, every day is a happy day for me. But watching you all leave now, I can't help but feel a little lonely. Just a little, of course. Just as I thought. The ritual went very smoothly. Thank you both. Oh, I'm great.
But the look on your face...
I'm fine, seriously. No.
Pico...
Fine. Well, if you're dead set on doing something for me...
Sure, no problem.
Okay. Well, see you soon.
I have to freaking feed her. Why would I have to feed her? Feed herself. Like, you can do that. I fixed the stream. Oh yeah, what did you do? What did you do? What did you do, Roblin? Wow. Wow, I see. I figured you would do something like that.
Today is the day we agreed to treat Nico to a meal.
I figured you would do that. Now let me change that real quick. I'm gonna play Crash Bandicoot off of this. Let me get some.
I got a new letter from an informant. Looks like the situation has changed again.
Wait is unbearable. How is the next chapter of the miraculous adventures of the Traveler not released yet?
It was quite a surprise when the moonless night finally came.
Yeah, that huge black cloud over Mount Yogo that night. It just seemed to form a...
But then nothing happened after I made a wish using the method in that...
Yeah. I guess light novels are just fiction after all, huh?
That night was definitely the nail in the coffin for the incantations from novels fad. Still, something tells me the miraculous adventures of the Traveler will remain an interesting series for a long time to come.
Huh? Paimon can't see me. Guess she's not out here. Maybe she went inside already.
You know, just died of my saliva. Probably this done thing. Oh well. Player.
Ha, my little friends. There you are.
Player.
Nico?
Pretty good.
What is this? You started.
I did, yes. You're paying after all. The thought of being able to eat the most expensive dishes and drink the finest sake, all for absolutely free? Oh, I just couldn't wait any longer. Ah, boss, see these two faces here? Remember them. They're the ones picking up the bill later.
Alrighty.
What's gotten into you? Come on, you have to try this fish. It's found exclusively in the waters around Seirai Island. They shipped it to Inazuma overnight, and it was still alive right up until I ordered it. Or maybe you'd rather try this? I know. I normally can't bring myself to drink sake this expensive either. If you don't drink alcohol, that's fine too. There are all kinds of fruit juices covering the whole price spectrum.
Last time we were here working on the novel, all you ordered for us was the plainest kushikatsu!
Strange. I remember no such thing. Oh, so what? You did offer to treat me to a meal, didn't you? Anyway, I am something of a VIP, you know. Wouldn't you find it embarrassing to treat me anything short of lavishly?
Miko, this meal is going to be super expensive! Aren't...
Oh, don't you worry about that. You can most definitely afford it. They're still printing your light novel by the batch, you know. You have quite the generous payment due.
What? Oh, darn it! She tricked us into this! Miko was after our Mora from the very beginning!
Oh, by the way, since nobody's wishes came true on the moonless night, so you'll have to come up with something new for the next chapter of The Miraculous Adventures of the Traveler. The deadline is looming. I'm counting on you.
That was a good story, better than Kazuha's story, to be honest. I'm not going to lie there. Time to gamble. Freaking wishing the gotcha system in this game is horrendous. It is horrendous. But oh well. I just need a Kazuha. That would be outstanding, sir. No, not clean. I want Kazu. Yep, nice. 3 stars. My favorite thing in the world. What's prerequisite? I gotta do that. Not doing it. Fuck that, I ain't doing that, dude. Yalan is last, eh? But then I can do that. Gonna go to Chasm. Of course. I don't have the mental strength for this. Oh wow. 71. You had 0 before. Or something. I don't know. One of them. Well, let's do it. I'll give it a crash. Crash Bandicoot and get through